Hi, in yesterday's episode, we saw how the levain was made and how it doubled. So, once it doubles, it's now ready to be used. Today, we'll use the levain and prepare the dough and bake the sourdough bread. So, the required ingredients would be salt, flour, and water. To start with, we are going to mix some flour and water and let it rest for 30 minutes. During this resting, something called autolysis happens. Autolysis simply means self digestion. So this is where the cells break down and gluten developments kickstarts. So this resting time can vary anywhere from 15 to 60 minutes. And kindly note that we won't be incorporating the levain or the salt in this process, but we'll add it sometime later. So I've taken roughly 250 grams of flour and we are aiming for a highly hydrated bread, more than 78 percentage. But since we already have some water present in the levain, I'm going to start the hydration percentage at 70%. When you say percentage, I mean it in the baker's percentage. Baker's percentage expresses all the ingredients as a ratio relative to the flour. So the flour quantity is always 100 percentage. So here, since we are taking 250 grams of flour, 70% hydration means 175 grams of water. We'll quickly mix these two ingredients, the flour and water, let it rest for 30 minutes. The autolysis will start, and after 30 to 40 minutes, we can add the levain. So now that leads to another question. How much of a levain should I use? This can vary. You can add anywhere from 15 to 25 percentage. Lower quantity of levain means slower fermentation, which means longer rising time. But if you add higher quantity, it means faster fermentation or lesser resting time, rising or resting time. We'll use 20 percentage, which is the average, and it's a very comfortable quantity where there is a balanced fermentation, neither too slow nor too fast. So 20 percentage of 250 grams is 50 grams of levain. So I'm adding 50 grams of levain. We will mix this and let it rest for another 30 minutes before adding the salt. Why do we not add the salt earlier? Because salt usually slows down the yeast activity. So when you add it after an autolyse period, we make sure that the gluten development has already kick-started. But salt plays a very important role in sourdough breads. It's going to slow down the yeast activity, which means that the fermentation is going to take a bit longer time. So that is responsible for the balanced flavor, yummy flavor. Now we will mix the salt into the dough. This is after 30 minutes of flour plus water plus levain resting period. Wet hands before touching the dough prevents the dough from sticking to our hands. But also it means that it is going to add a bit of extra hydration. At this point, if we are going to add more flour to the dough, the yeast is going to struggle to digest everything. So that's why we are using water instead of dough. But we prefer highly hydrated breads. So we generally use water to prevent sticking. Once the salt is mixed in completely, we will start with the stretch and fold technique. This stretch and fold technique is done to strengthen the dough. We won't be kneading it, but just gently stretch the dough from the edges and fold it towards the center. So if you are imagining this dough as a circle, and there are four quadrants, all the four sides should be stretched and folded to the center. Rotate the bowl as you go. We have to do this every 30 minutes to 1 hour for about a period of 3 to 6 hours. It depends upon the temperature of the place you live in. If you are living in a very hot place, we can do this every 30 minutes once. If you are going to do it at a colder place, do it every 1 hour. uh, Colder place means slower fermentation, hotter place means faster fermentation. As we do the stretch and fold, the dough becomes less stickier and more elastic. This process where you do the stretch and fold is called as bulk fermentation. The definition of bulk fermentation and few other terminologies and the nature of the flour that we have used in this video and its difference from the regular flowers we will discuss in the forthcoming videos. So now it's been more than 6 hours. We have done six set of stretches because when we started this morning during the levain making, it was a bit hot outside. It was a very normal day, but the day became started becoming cooler in the evening, and so the dough started taking a bit extra time to ferment. So we did stretch and fold every 1 hour, and we did for 6 hours. Now it's 6 hours later. We are going to shape the dough and let it rest for 12 hours in the fridge, 12 to 24 hours in the refrigerator. This is called as cold fermentation. This point of time we can use a little bit of flour to shape the dough. Kindly note that our dough is still sticky because of the high hydration. We are going to shape the dough and put it in the refrigerator. In the refrigerator, the yeast activity is going to be slowed down. This is called as cold fermentation. Cold fermentation actually helps with giving the dough a better texture, and also it firms the dough. We will also get a nice oven spring. Oven spring means that when you are baking this dough in the oven, with the heat, the trapped carbon dioxide gas will try to escape, and the escaping gas is going to be responsible for the nice crumb, the holes that the bread has. That is called as oven spring. So this is after 12 hours in the refrigerator. Kindly note that we are not going to let this dough come to the room temperature. We are going to bake it as cold as it was in the refrigerator. So we have to preheat the oven. We have preheated the oven to 230 degrees Celsius. You can also do a 240 or even 250, 260 degrees Celsius also. But depending upon the temperature, we have to adjust the timings. So we usually bake sourdoughs in a Dutch oven, but that is not mandatory. We can also do it in a regular dosa tawa or even a iron kadai. Why iron? Because it is going to retain a lot of heat. If you have a pizza stone or a baking stone, well and good. But we will be baking the first few minutes closed, and then the last 10 to 20 minutes we will let it bake with an open lid. So I have taken a iron tawa, flat iron tawa, and we are going to use a parchment paper, dust the parchment paper, or grease it, and we are going to gently lower the cold dough onto the very hot iron tawa. This iron tawa was also preheated. So what happens is when the cold dough hits the hot iron pan, there is going to be a thermal shock. That is also good for oven spring. We have to score the bread for a even release of the carbon dioxide, trapped carbon dioxide. As I mentioned, when this bread is heated in the oven, the trapped gas will try to escape. If we do not score, it might escape anywhere and lead to some breakages at the surface. So we will bake this closed. First 20 to 30 minutes we'll bake it closed, and the last 10 to 20 minutes we can remove the lid and bake it. And we always use a pan with water so that there will be steam around the oven. That also helps with the oven spring. We will do a detailed video of inside the oven what happens later on. Now it is baked. We will let it come down to room temperature for 1 to 2 hours, or you can also cut it after keeping it in the fridge, because there is a lot of heat inside and the bread is still cooking even after it comes out of the oven. So if we are going to cut it when it is very hot, it might not be fully baked. Let's look at the inside. So there it is. I hope this was helpful. Do try it out and let me know how it goes. If you have any questions, please feel free to let us know. Thank you.